Ladies and gentlemen, Matthew Melton here, and today we're going to be talking about the legendary Tascam 388 tape speed fidelity trick. This is a technique that will allow you to sort of hotwire your tape machine in order to squeeze the maximum performance out of it. And this little trick will work not just on the Tascam 388, but on pretty much any tape machine that allows you to adjust the pitch control. I'm sure a lot of you guys already know this, but there's a few points worth mentioning, and if you're just getting into analog recording, it can take a second to wrap your head around this concept in a way that won't cause you any problems. So, a couple things you're going to need to consciously avoid and a couple things to actively remember. So right here on the Tascam 388, we already got some tape rolling. Allow me to direct your attention to the pitch controls, which are these two controls right here, right underneath the DBX noise reduction buttons, which, side note, I forbid you from ever using, because having these two buttons pressed in is like having a condom on your music. So you always want to be sure you take that off. Back to business. In the middle of the switch, you got vary, fix, and ext. And the only thing you really need to know is when this switch is set to fix, then this knob is disengaged. So as long as you're set to fix, it doesn't matter what this knob is set to. Your machine will still be rolling at the standard 7.5 inches per second. But when you switch this over to vary, you engage the function of the pitch control knob. So far, so good. And as you can see, when you turn this one, you will actually speed up or slow down the speed of how fast or how slow the tape itself is moving over the heads. And there's a notch right here at 12 o'clock. You can feel it click in that represents the setting for 7.5 inches per second. I can't think of a reason why you'd want to reduce the tape speed to go slower than 7.5 IPS unless you're doing something maybe in an experimental realm. But there's a great reason you might want to speed up the tape. The faster the tape moves across the heads, the more relative fidelity you're going to get. To give you a reference point, higher end tape machines in big fancy recording studios can usually go up to 15 inches per second, which is twice the fidelity of the Tascam 388 when set to fix. So that means if you want to get the maximum fidelity out of a Tascam 388 or any tape machine, you would switch this to variable and crank your pitch control all the way up towards the plus sign until you can't turn it anymore. And it's worth mentioning, be careful not to force the knob. You don't want to break it. And if your tape is rolling, you can visibly see the tape speed increases. Now, important disclaimer, if you choose to take this path and use this setting, it should be noted that, except maybe in the case of drums, you should not change this setting in the middle of your session, obviously, because it wouldn't be in tune with everything else. So, if you want to try this, you got to start with it and stick with it till the end of the project. Be careful to keep this knob in this exact setting for the entire session. Don't let any bass players mess with it. And in this setting, it's probably anybody's guess, but you're getting an extra inch or two per second of tape speed. So in the max setting, perhaps 9 or maybe even 10 inches per second. It's not going to be 15, which would be considered high fidelity, but perhaps we can call this mid fidelity. I like that. Now, the golden rule of analog recording is there are no rules. You're ultimately just trying to get the sound in your head to be the sound coming out of your speakers. And however you get there, or whatever that may be, is up to you. But if you're looking to add a little boost of clarity and fidelity to your project, this is a great little trick to max out the capabilities of your tape machine. Hopefully you got some value out of this video. Feel free to chime in on the comments, and we'll see you on the next one.